Hello War of Ninja. For this video I will be using the same team in two battles, using different swaps. You will notice I name my teams for the characters that I might swap in. This team could fit Saigai in the first slot, Erasoi, Hana or Hai in the second slot, and Toge in the third slot. I should note that I later found Tadashi and Takeko to be excellent swaps for the first slot too, and I never got any wins with Saigai, Erasoi or Hana, but I never bothered to rename the team. In this instance, my opponent is using two characters that depend on poison afflictions. This makes Hai the best choice to swap in by far, because his healing skill completely removes poison afflictions. Nozuki doesn't use poison afflictions, but instead depends on a ranged stun for his instant kill. I will equip Hai with Mitsubishi to prevent him from using that skill. I get first turn and an intelligence energy. I'm lucky here, because this really is the best possible scenario for me. I get to prep Ryu and dish out Judai's attack before my opponent has even gotten a chance to move. I've already decided I want to kill Nozuki first, but I'm checking out his items before deciding who to attack. Ikuchi has an item that heals 15 health, so I'm going to pretend going after Jatai first, in the hopes that he'll heal her, leaving his item on cooldown while I kill Nozuki. Next turn, you'll see that he doesn't use his healing item yet, but at least he'll use Jatai's snake trap on herself instead of on Nozuki, so I won't have to worry about healing her poison affliction yet. By the way, I've cut most of my opponent's turn out of the video, something I hope other video commentary makers will copy in future. He preps Ikuchi and uses snake trap, which will leave him with 5 energy next turn. Snake trap is normally invisible, but his banner of resistance makes it so I can see when it's used. The same goes for Nozuki's counter, so I can be sure he didn't use that skill this turn. I have no wisdom energy to use Hai's heal, so I'll just add a stack to his attack, and I'll use Ryu's Skycracker to hurt Nozuki for 35 hit points. Nozuki is the biggest threat, because if he stuns Hai, I'll have to kill him that turn, or he'll go invulnerable and I'll lose Hai. This attack will leave him on 55 health, so Ryu's Spike can take him out in a single blow. He uses Devour, but not on Hai, which is just plain silly. I can use Mitsubishi to cancel the skill, leaving Nozuki harmless until the cooldown on that skill ends. This allows me to get rid of Jatai first, whose stun will prevent me from healing my characters with Hai. He used his healing item on Nozuki, leaving Jatai to be an easy target. Note that if you use Hai's heal before Jatai's stun, it will prevent her from stunning that character, so when these two face, it's always a matter of who uses their skills first. Judai's attack triggered Snake Trap, and my opponent is quick to make use of that. He uses two attacks that require poison afflictions to be active on their targets, to spike Judai and remove an energy from my pool. I'm going to heal Judai, so he won't die this turn. I can use Ryu's Spike, but that wouldn't kill anyone yet, so instead I'll use Judai's counter. This will give Judai the chance to kill Jatai next turn using Execution. I'll also prep Ryu again, because I'll need his spike to kill Nozuki hiding behind his protector. When you're healing Judai, always make sure you Q the heal before his self-affliction. If I didn't Q that right this turn, he would have died before he was healed. Judai's counter will counter all skills except tactic skills, so it won't counter Nozuki putting up his protector, but it will counter the stun that Jatai tried to use. Next turn, Ryu's Spike will deal enough damage to kill Nozuki, but I will need to exchange for an intelligence energy to pay its costs. I should probably have used my 2 wisdom energy for the exchange, so I could also use Judai's execution, but I used my 2 strength energy instead. Thankfully this wasn't a very close game, so leaving Jatai alive for one more turn didn't matter much. Ryu has 3 stacks for his spike, so it will deal 70 damage. Because Nightfire is still active, he will gain another stack this turn. I will again need to pay attention to the skill queue in order to use his spike before he gains the new stack. Otherwise, I would just be wasting that stack. After losing Nozuki, my opponent acknowledges defeat. If he hadn't surrendered, he would have probably saved Jatai from Judai's execution by healing her for 15 health, but there's no questioning that I still would have easily won in a few more turns. I will now follow up this game with another game using the same team, only this game I don't swap out Takeo. My opponent is using Judai, so Takeo's crystal ball might prove valuable. The team he's using is often used, so I've faced it many times. It kills one of your characters incredibly fast, without giving you much chance to protect that character. But its weakness is that it's completely reliant on Hikaru, and has no means of healing him. I will swap in Toge, making my team a team that can spike a single character even quicker than his team can. I'm equipping Toge with Kunai, so I can spike Hikaru for 60 damage, and leave him with Demon Rage's Bleeding Affliction, all for just one random energy without any preps. I see most people using Pipe of Strength or Book of Mentality for Toge, but this team uses only little energy, so he doesn't need those items. I'm lucky to get first turn again. The first thing I notice is that Hikaru is equipped with Kunai instead of the village item you usually see him carrying. I personally think that of those two, Kunai is the better item for him, so all the more reason to kill him first. After killing Hikaru, I usually go after Asami, unless I can kill Judai in a single turn. By the end of the game, Judai's self-afflictions have usually left him an easy target to beat in a 1 vs 1 situation. My opponent decides to go after Toge first. He stuns Takeo to stall me while he attacks Toge with Hikaru and Judai's attacks. I could put up Toge's counter, but that would prove utterly useless at this point, because it only counters melee attacks, and my opponent can easily finish him off with ranged and mental attacks. Instead, I will just use his attack to dish out 20 damage. I don't attack Hikaru, because leaving him on 30 health points is enough to kill him with execution. If he stuns Judai, he won't be able to stun or kill Toge, so I could just kill Hikaru with Toge's attack, which will deal 30 damage next turn. If my opponent got an agility and an intelligence energy this turn, he could have killed Toge, but it appears he didn't. Instead, he's forced to leave Toge alive on 10 hit points, but sadly he's still doomed to die from his burns next turn. I got great energy this turn. I have 2 strength energy, so I can use execution on Hikaru and use Toge's attack on Asami to leave her at 40 hit points. I could also hit her with Takeo for another 20 damage, but I'd rather stun her to prevent her from attacking or stunning. Next turn, Judai and Takeo can both hit her for a total of 40 damage, killing her. When you use Takeo's stun, always make sure that that's the last skill you use on that character, or else use the skill queue to move it after all the other skills you use that turn. Takeo's stun is cancelled when a new skill is used on that character, and that includes the skills you use this turn too. My opponent attacks Takeo, but it hardly matters at this point. I kill Asami as planned, and this game is basically won. Judai's counter is bypassed by my crystal ball, and my characters have too much hit points left for him to use execution, so he's really a sitting duck. As a side note, this team got me a plus 15 streak the other day, so if you were looking for a streak team for any of these 3 characters, you're welcome to try it out. Be sure to use the other swaps I suggested for this team when you meet a team with healers or melee stunners. For instance, Niwa is an opponent you don't want to face, especially if she's equipped with her village item. I often beat Niwa by swapping Tadashi in for Judai, equipping him with Sake. At this point in the game, you see me hesitating if I should involve my characters or not. If you are like me in that way, here's a tip. You can undo skills not only by clicking on the little icon once, but also by double-clicking on the large icon that's placed over the question mark left of your character skills. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my video and perhaps even learned something new. Until next time!